Katie tried to set me up to shed tears before I even begin. Catlin Gabel graduating class of 2021. You all have been through it. When you entered the upper school 4 years ago, the Eagle Creek wildfires were raging and forced us inside to avoid the smoke inhalation. And then just 2.5 years later, a global pandemic fundamentally changed our way of life. Then, as you entered your final semester in high school, insurrectionists attacked the seat of government at our nation's capital. But you're here. And you certainly learned a ton about yourselves along the way. Staying motivated, inspired, uplifted, and managing to overcome all that adversity, those were not individual feats. You all were fortunate to have your family and your friends, your coaches, your advisors, your teachers to support you along this journey. So, students, graduates, I'll ask you to stand and recognize your parents, your family, your friends, your teachers that helped you, that are here with us, and all of those who are not here who cannot join us here today. Thank you. You know, growing up, many of us had to endure the constant "back in my day" references. And at least now, when your parents or your grandparents try to regale you with stories of walking 20 miles to school in the snow, you can look at them confidently and respond, "Oh, really? 20 miles? Did you walk those 20 miles while wearing a mask during a global pandemic? No? Well, let's just call it even then." If you ask this class what is their fondest memory from the past 4 years, they'll describe moments where they were surrounded by their classmates. And I know because I asked them. And from global trips with Spencer to seeing the entire community, pre-K through upper school, coming together to celebrate and cheer on our soccer teams during those homecoming matches, to lounging around the hammock or in shared spaces, to chatting, to gaming, and listening to Kellen brag about the baseball team, or watching Bowen share endless videos of him making miraculous saves on repeat. This class, above all, appreciates each other. And so it's only fitting that really in less than a half an hour, this illustrious group will be inducted into the Catlin Gabel Alumni Association, where their lifelong bond will be cemented. And it's an incredible honor to be here to witness that transition firsthand. While the last 16 months have been at times impossible to find joy, there is some solace in knowing that our ability to socially gather is enabled by medical advances related to vaccines. And as you enter this new challenging segment of your lives, I want you to think about the impact of vaccines as you consider how to most constructively inject all that you are and believe into society. You are going to change the world. I don't hope that. I know it. Because everyone that has had the opportunity to work with you, their life has been enhanced as a result. While you grapple with how your decisions are going to influence the collective, I want you to consider a few things. You're going to cure cancer. You're going to end gun violence. You're going to protect the LGBTQ+ community. You're going to change the world when you decide to inject yourself and to solve these issues. Don't sell short the power of your mindset. See, we have a tendency in the face of tragedy and evil to claim, "That's not us," or "We're better than that." or some inane equivalent of that drivel. But in thinking about what most benefits the collective, it's only fitting that we speak truth to power. So we set aside the surprise that accompanies our observation of racism or cruelty or injustice, and we recognize that while we aren't better than what we see, we understand and we mobilize to make sure to put ourselves on a trajectory to be better. This won't be easy. If it were easy, some of you wouldn't be shifting in your seats right now. You wouldn't be hesitating to make eye contact with the person to your left or to your right. But in these moments, the only person you need to look to is in the mirror staring at you. That is who you need to make proud. That is the only person you will face every day for the rest of your life. That is the person you need to ask, in what kind of world do I want to live? And what am I willing to sacrifice to create that world? Changing the world won't be easy, but nothing this class has achieved has been easy. A couple years ago, I attended a state championship swim meet. I watched our team compete at the highest level. And they positioned themselves to place in the top 3 by the final race. That final race was a relay. And I recall the roar of the crowd and the excitement as swimmers dove into the water in hopes of carrying their team to victory. The best team won, Catlin Gabel, of course. Or so we thought, because the look of confusion and horror on the girls' faces indicated a result that we had not anticipated. We'd been disqualified. It was devastating. I remember the tears. But you know what else I remember? I remember no blaming, no finger pointing, no yelling. I remember the girls hugging each other, looking into each other's eyes as if to say, we'll be back. And if you followed the athletics program, you know, were they ever back with a vengeance? And in 2019, what'd they do? Brought home a state championship. That wasn't easy. That took guts, it took commitment, and a dedication to each other. You know what else isn't easy? And I'm not taking shots at the soccer team. It's not easy to lose year after year after year to your crosstown rival. Phenomenal regular season, qualify for the final, losing the state championship to the crosstown rival. Phenomenal regular season, qualify for the final, lose to your crosstown rival in the state championship. Rinse, wash, repeat. That's not easy. So you know what they did? They rallied and they outworked that crosstown rival. And I know because one morning on the weekend, 7 a.m., pouring down rain, it's Portland, I see a familiar face. And Sophie Wan might not remember this, but I approach the track as I'm walking my dog to say hi. And she sees me, and not dismissively, but just with a laser focus. Hi, Cliff, and kind of waves me off. And without missing a beat, gets right back into those speed ladder drills. And I knew in that moment, this kid is going to do something special on the soccer pitch. And sure enough, that rinse, wash, repeat cycle had ended and helped carry that team to consecutive state championships and being named Player of the Year. That's the kind of focus and determination this class has shown time after time. Sean showed it in winning multiple chess championships. Katie McCauley showed it as diversity coordinator, advocating for equity. Patina shows it every time we get to hear that angelic voice singing. Sarah Robertson shows it every time she puts pen to paper and makes words come alive. Benji shows it whenever he collects books for babies in the NICU. This class has built a remarkable resume of accomplishments. And the only thing you have left to do is to change the world. Now, don't mistake this message as merely a recommendation. You're too wise, you're too talented. This is an expectation. No. This is a clarion call to utilize this intellect and these skills and your curiosity to inoculate empathy and justice and goodness and love into society. There's a passage I believe that best encapsulates my admiration and hope for this Catlin Gabel graduating class, and it comes from a Sonia Sanchez poem titled Poem for July 4th. It is essential that we finally understand this is the time for the creative human being. The human being who decides to talk upright in a human fashion in order to save this earth from extinction. This is the time for the creative man, woman, who must decide that she, he, can live in peace, racial and sexual justice on this earth. This is the time for you and me. African American, whites, Latinos, gays, Asians, Native Americans, lesbians, Muslims, all of us must finally bury the elitism of race superiority, the elitism of sexual superiority, the elitism of economic superiority, the elitism of religious superiority. If we, the people, work, organize, resist, come together for peace, racial, social, and sexual justice, it'll get better. It'll get better. Take heed of those words from Sonia Sanchez, graduates. Inject your spirit, your toughness, your benevolence, and your intelligence into a society in dire need of each of those qualities. Rises in anti-Asian hate crimes tells us we need an inoculation. Threats to women's rights tells us we need an inoculation. Growing anti-Semitism tells us we need an inoculation. Refusal to acknowledge that Black Lives Matter tells us we need an inoculation. The residual value of the love and empathy that you show each other will be the virtue by which you are remembered. Let your heart be a gateway, and let your love be the injection of good that changes this world. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2021.